With our robot. So everyone's going to be starting off with an 8.5 by 11 artboard. So new file, calling this robot, 8.5 by 11 inches and CMYK. And what I've done for you is I have taken a photo of your sketch and I have emailed it to you inside a Canvas. So you have access to it and you are going to have it in your downloads. Before we move it in though, let's go ahead and call this sketch layer and have it open. We're going to file, place. And mine's on my desktop, but yours is going to be in your downloads. And you're just going to click on the artboard and then using your shift key, you're going to drag your object in and fit it to the artboard. Okay, now the sketch is fine, so we're going to lock it, and then we're just going to build our layers according to our paper. We are one layer off because our sketch was actually considered the first layer. So I'm just going to pretend this is layer 2, and I'm going to type in the names of the layers. I had 11, some of you might have 9. Some of you might have 15. It really doesn't matter. It depends on your project. This is when your projects start to become more specifically yours rather than what I'm telling you. We're going to type in Nick. And your layers aren't going to have the same titles as me. I know this seems time-consuming and it may seem unnecessary, but I promise you, if you practice this habit, your projects will be a lot easier to tackle. If you were to put everything in one layer, you're going to have a lot of overlapping issues that are going to cause you issues later. So just taking this one little minute to do this is going to be worth it. You're going to lock all of your layers except for the first one above the sketch layer, and I guarantee that most of our robots are very symmetrical, meaning that one thing on one side is probably repeated on the other. Maybe not all the parts, but a lot of them. So for instance, my antenna, there's 2 of them, are repeated, and they need to look the same, and they also need to kind of be spaced out equally. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one of them. And I'm going to turn my fill off. And I want to show you an issue that you're going to run into. Illustrator layers things inside a layer according to the order that you draw them in. So if I drew my circle first and then my rectangle is now actually in front of my circle. So if I go to fill in this later, my rectangle will be above my circle. In order to fix that, you could adjust it within the layers here, but that can get complicated because there can be a lot of different things within the layer itself. You just simply right click on an object and tell it where you want it to go. And I'm going to send it to the back. So now it should be in back of my circle, which is what I want. Okay, now I want this to look exactly the same as this one, and I also want it to be at the same angle. So I'm going to select both of these. I'm going to right click, and I'm actually going to group them together. That means that anytime I click on them right now, they're going to travel together in a group. Okay. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to reflect. And I'm reflecting vertically across. If I was going to reflect down, I would choose horizontal. And I'm going to hit copy. Once I hit copy, I'm going to start traveling over and then grabbing my shift key and dropping this down onto the artboard. Okay, those are done. I'm going to lock them and move on to the main head. Now, you can decide how you want to make this. You could use a pen tool, you could use a rectangle tool and round out the corners. It's really up to you. I would trace that first, and then I would lock it and then move on to my eyes. Okay. All right. Everything, let's pretend, has been outlined, and now I'm ready to color. So if I'm ready to color, I'm going to have my outlines here. I would just click on this, and if you want them the same color in this case, you can keep them grouped. Otherwise, I'm going to do them 2 different colors, so I'm going to ungroup, and I'm going to choose the color of my choice. Okay, I'm also not going to have my robot outlined in black. I'm just going to have it like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a different color. And I'm going to turn my stroke color off. But now I want this to be the same color, so I'm going to click on this, and just like your Mondrian project, I for eyedropper. Oops, see, they were grouped. Let's ungroup them real quick. Ungroup, click, eyedropper, pick up the color. V for selection, I pick up the color. So I don't have to play the game of trying to find the colors again. And then I will keep building and building and building until I finally have finished this. Let me show you my finished one. Okay, so you can see that my robot has all of its parts. It has a white background. Everything is nice and clean. I'm going to go ahead and file, save as, save to the cloud. And then I'm going to file export, export as, save it as a ping file, and then turn that ping in on Canvas.